As we wind down to the last weekend of the CCIW baseball season, North Central has a chance to bring home its second straight conference title, but the defending national champions stand in the way. Cardinal heavy hitters are primed and ready to talk about it right here on the Cardinal Report, and it starts right now. Welcome to the first episode of the Cardinal Report in the month of May. I'm Alex Simmons. Cardinal Baseball joins us this week along with assistant coach Joe Heller. Joe, thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Alex.
High expectations from last season, with the conference title, and really coming into this season, you guys were expected to do quite a bit and really have performed pretty well here down the stretch. Yeah,
we've been playing well. We're starting to really come together as a team, starting to figure out what exactly, kind of specifically, what identity we want to take, going into the season, finishing out the season, then into the conference tournament.
And we were chatting here just a couple minutes ago where you were talking about how with as many players you have on this roster, a lot of guys really have to find their roles, and once you get that depth and get everybody figured out where they're going to be, some guys can get comfortable, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the thought process behind everything. This year with what we've been able to do as a program over the last few years, we've got our depth across the board at every position is a lot better than it has been. Which allows us as a coaching staff and as the players to compete for spots. That's the way we're going to create the best ball club that we can create, is getting guys out there trying to earn a spot, knowing that if they're the starter now, then there's someone behind them trying to earn that spot and trying to go get their job. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a, some sort of tension every now and then. Everyone wants to play, but ultimately it's going to raise everybody's game and make us that better of a team.
A lot of competition, definitely. Big series win for you guys last weekend over a team that had really been in and out of the top 25 for most of the season in Augustana. You guys not only got some good weather to finally be able to play, but in that first game, a 7-inning win, 11-1. What was the key to that one?
John Rashid. I mean, simple. He controlled the game, got us back in the dugout. He did his job. He threw strikes, a lot of ground balls. Defense played well. We got in the dugout and we hit the baseball. That's kind of the game we want to play. And when it starts with our starting pitcher like that, then it's easy for us.
Well, it was as simple as that with the wind at times. Balls in the air were an adventure. Let's go to the highlight. Cardinal Baseball hosting Augustana at a very windy Zimmerman Stadium. NCC sporting plenty of pink for breast cancer awareness. After 3.5 quick innings, the Cardinal O has the bases loaded in the bottom of the fourth. Michael Corrigan has the Ducks on the pond, and he finds the 6-hole. The infield single would bring in Dan Scott. Joe Turek is up next. He draws the walk to bring in Matt Burke for the 2-0 lead. Brendan Hagensee follows. He hits it where it's pitched. Textbook hitting. Matt Abraham comes home. 3-0 Cardinals after 4. Then the man on the mound for the Cards, John Rashid, got into a groove. In the top of the 5th, Matt Burke ends the inning with this slick play in the 4-hole. Top 6, 4-0 now. Rashid gets Kurt Schmidt to ground out to Nick Daniels for the first out. Dave Hoffman is up next. He ropes one to the right side, but Burke is there to make the play. Augustana still scoreless after 6. In the 7th, Rashid does it himself. Here he K's Pat Wilson. Rashid went 7 strong, only giving up 1 earned run. To the bottom half, and there's Cardinals everywhere. Hagensee at the dish with the infield in. All it takes is a hot shot to get it past the left side. That's good for 2 RBIs with Abraham and Corrigan coming in. Cardinals led wire to wire. They take Game 1 of the CCIW Twin Bill 11-1. Coach, you said it before we went to the highlight. John Rashid, a guy that coming in and transfer from St. Joseph, has really put up some impressive numbers as a starting pitcher. Was this something you guys as a staff expected from him coming in kind of as an unknown?
Yeah, a little bit. Fitz was real high on him as a senior in high school. He was a big recruit of his. Him going to St. Joe's was obviously a little bit of a hurt for him during all that. But Rashid didn't like St. Joe's, wasn't a fan, knew one of the catchers on our team, Brendan Ryan, from high school as well, so decided to come on in, and he's been great for us. In the fall, he was good, did a real good job. Winter has really stepped up and proved himself to us as the coaching staff and the rest of the club as far as being a starting pitcher, going out there and doing his job and giving us a chance to win.
What are some things that he's been able to do as far as pitching qualities that's been able to help him be so successful this year? I know one of the big things on Saturday that he really was conscious about was keeping the ball down in the zone.
Yeah, keeping the ball down the zone is what you want to do, but ultimately it's throwing strikes. It's getting ahead of hitters. We talk a lot about throwing strikes, staying in advantage count all the time, and that's kind of the way our pitching staff is starting to work, especially with Nate Aronson as well. We're going to throw a lot of strikes. If we throw a lot of strikes, let them hit the ball, defense is going to make the plays. Hitters a lot of times will get themselves out. So if our pitchers can eliminate freebies, eliminate walks, hit by pitches, control the plate, throw the ball over the plate, get into advantage count, stay in advantage count, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
You beat me to the punch there a little bit, Nate Aronson, the other winning pitcher from that weekend series, really coming back to a form that we've kind of expected from him. 3-hit, 9-inning outing on Saturday, and he's really been dominant lately, a guy that took home CCIW Pitcher of the Week award. He had a little bit of a slow start to start out the season, but he's really come on strong to what we've expected. Yeah,
this is what we expected of Nate. He did start a little bit slow. Had a little bit of problems coming in, early in the season, but he's really coming to where he should be and where he's capable of pitching.
And you talk about throwing strikes being the key. Only 95 walks in 246 innings pitched. These guys throwing strikes, when you compare that 95 to 148 opposing pitchers have thrown, walks-wise, it's really something that's set you guys up for a recipe for success.
Absolutely, yeah. You're talking about that stat. A lot of it is our pitchers getting ahead of guys throwing strikes, but then it's a lot of our hitters as well. Having an approach where we're not going to swing at a pitcher's best pitch if it's not, in an advantage for us to get ourselves out on that pitch. So what we want to do is try and work counts at times and try and be good about that and be disciplined at the plate. Make that pitcher get to us. And if we can dictate what we do in the box, then we're going to be in pretty good shape.
How much of that is the veteran lineup? I mean, you look at this offense, Michael Corrigan coming back as Conference Player of the Year last year, leads this team hitting .375, 23 RBIs with an OPS of 1139. I imagine having one of your leaders like him being able to just do what he does, repeating a performance from last season in the middle of your order has to be huge. Yeah, the middle order across the board. Mike is kind of the anchor of all that in the 4th spot and doing what he did last year and what he's doing this year as well. But across the board, probably 3 through 6 on our lineup, it's going to see a lot of breaking balls. Once again, it's going to lead to a lot more walks. And if we're patient and able to not swing at the pitcher's pitch we want early in the count, wait back, try and get a fastball, try and get a curveball that maybe hangs something like that, maybe later in the count, that's going to benefit us in the long run. We talk a lot about, there's always the stats about average, about, all that kind of stuff, and doubles and home runs and this and that. We focus on-base percentage as a program. Definitely.
If we got guys on base on a consistent basis and doing what they got to do, at the plate to give us chance, get runners in scoring position, that's how we're going to win ball games. It's not about the average, it's not about the numbers, per se like that. We try and focus on the on-base percentage. It
seems to be working out quite well. How important is it to have a guy like Mike in the position that in baseball circles seems to be very important at catcher?
Oh, catcher is huge. It's a huge position on the field. Pitcher, catcher, having that ability to work together, control the game, control the running game is huge. Not giving up freebies, being able to block baseballs, dictate the game, talk to players, communication. It all starts with the catcher. And he's done a really good job. He's been a senior and a leader doing all that for us.
Well, he plays a big role. Well, it's just about that time of the year for the baseball team, the postseason, and everyone seems to be ready for it. Take a listen in this week's What's the Word?
We're real hungry to get in. I think if we win this game, then we knock out Augustana. And so obviously we get one of the top 4 spots. And if we win the next 4 games, I think we clinch the conference. So, there's 5 really strong teams.
Yeah, well, there are definitely a lot of good teams in our conference. So we just got to keep winning, and, we'll have our spot in there. We're excited, and we're working hard to get there. So we're just doing all we can to get there for now.
We're showing as much as we can that we're here to stay. I mean, like, all these other teams are getting so much respect. We want to show that we deserve some respect and that we're going to put it on every single team every time we play them. We're hoping to take all 3 from these guys and then really make a statement if we can take 2 out of 3 from Wesleyan to solidify first place and then go on for a tournament or anything we got to do. Like, people keep overlooking us, but I think we're a force to be reckoned with, and we're trying to prove it.
Joe, as you guys get ready for this last weekend series, a lot of big pressure situations, I imagine, going to come out of that before you guys go into the postseason. When things kind of get ratcheted up here, how can you try to keep this team at a level head, not really trying to get outside of themselves too much?
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of that all year. We've definitely, we've been in ball games where we've been in real close games. I think the Carthage series was big for us, playing 2 extra inning ball games and playing one that was decided in the 9th inning on the last hit of the game. But the more we can play those games, and we've gotten the experience playing those games, coming into a series like Wesleyan, coming up here for the conference championship, we're going to be a lot more veteran, a lot more experienced when it comes to those pressure situations. If we do what we do and take care of our business and control what we can control, we're going to be fine. We're going to win ball games. And that's the bottom line. We've preached it all year. We've talked about it all year, approaching every day like you would play a conference game. You know, if we try and keep that same level head, keep playing our game, control what we can control, we're going to win baseball games.
I feel like I hear you say that quite often, do what we do. What are some of the things that go into that, being able to just, you know, stay the course and do some of those things? That's
the identity of our team. I mean, that's what we've preached coming out of the fall. You know, trying to put pressure on the defense from an offensive standpoint, hitting the ball on a line, hit it on the ground, avoid, you know, lazy fly balls, stuff like that. Getting on bases, pushing the issue a little bit, you know, trying to be aggressive when we can, take advantage of taking extra bases when we can. Defensively, it's just taking care of our business. You know, pitchers working ahead of guys, staying ahead, staying in advantage counts, and defense making plays.
Doing a lot of the little things. We'll stick around. Two of the Cardinals' hottest hitters step on set just after this short break.